Welcome to my final educational webinar for the UK Global Talent Visa in Digital Technologies. As I said, this is the last webinar for 2021 for the educational webinar, and thank you so much for coming today. Just a quick contents on what I will be talking about today. I'll talk about what is the Global Talent Visa in Digital Technologies. I'll talk about the Stage 1 endorsement application and process. I'll also, throughout the webinar, I'll tell you about the October 2021 changes to the guidelines. They're very minor, but it is worth letting you know what they are. I'll also go through my packages of support available as well, because there are lots of different types of support that I can help you throughout the process, depending on, if you do need the full support or if you need just a bit of support, also depending on your budgetary requirements as well. And then I'll open the floor up to a Q&A session. So as I said before, I will stay online for a little bit longer because this is my last educational webinar for this year. I will hang around and answer your questions as well. Perfect. So just a little bit about myself. My name is Michelle Hewer. I'm Australian Vietnamese. I'm the founder and CEO of Made with Glove. It's a UK wearable tech company designing heated gloves. I'm also the Tech Nation Visa coach. So I help with the Stage 1 endorsement process. In 2016, I was endorsed with exceptional talent, and then I became the Tech Nation Visa ambassador. And the reason is because back then in 2016, I know it wasn't very long ago, not many people knew about the Tech Nation Visa, as it was called. Now it's called the Global Talent Visa. So I went around telling everyone about my story, and I wrote a blog about it, and then that blog became viral, and then I started helping more people. So now this is my full-time job, and this is why all I do is help people with the Stage 1 endorsement process. The great thing about this visa is that it gives you a route to settlement. So in 2019, just before Brexit, I received my indefinite leave to remain, and then I went on to get my British citizenship. So my immigration journey has ended, which is amazing because it's so stressful, dealing with the whole immigration status when you're in the UK and you don't know, where you're going to be, because you're running a business, and it's just fantastic that this is done now. I don't have to worry about it. In the last 7 years, I've been in the UK, and I based myself in Manchester and Newcastle. So I lived there, and I traveled a lot down to London. And the great thing about all these three tech ecosystems is everyone is so friendly and so collegial. It's such a collegial environment. So whatever you put into the tech ecosystem is what you will gain from it. I was extremely active in the tech ecosystems in all of them. I used to be a solicitor in Australia before I quit my job to become a tech entrepreneur, and I write about the Tech Nation Visa, and on my website there's lots of blogs on there. So that, again, that's how I started, and now I'm doing lots of videos, vlogs on my YouTube channel. So over the years I've helped, now it's 500 actually, tech entrepreneurs and senior execs and tech employees. My success rate is about 80 to 90% now versus a 54% endorsement rate. So some of my clients have received a result within 3 to 27 hours, which is amazing, but the average wait is about 3 weeks. So yeah, it's just been amazing when I work with my clients, and they fulfill the criteria. So they get a result within 3 to 27 hours. Some of my clients have included people from working for WhatsApp, Sony, LinkedIn, startups, CTOs, CEOs, UX designers, biz dev, marketing graduates, and yeah, loads. I've helped so many people from different sectors in fields, cybersecurity, data scientists. There's just so many that I can't list them all, but I've helped a lot of people. And just a quick disclaimer, I only help with the Stage 1 endorsement. I'm not affiliated with Home Office or Tech Nation. The only way I'm affiliated with Tech Nation now is through being an alumni, because I received the Tech Nation visa. So these are some of my articles and things that I've been featured in. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because this is the type of thing that Tech Nation assessors will be looking for under the leadership and proof of recognition criteria. So I've been interviewed, I've written articles, I host, panels. I also host, women in tech tables when we have award ceremonies. I've been interviewed in TechCrunch, Business Leader, Media Tech Labs. I was a judge for an IoT virtual hackathon. So I did, sort of do quite a bit around for the tech community. And this is the type of thing that they want to see, for you to be immersed in the tech sector and add significant value to it. Okay, so what is the Global Talent Visa? It used to be called the Exceptional Talent Visa, and now it's called the Global Talent Visa, but also the Tech Nation Visa. I know it's so confusing, but really it's the Global Talent Visa in digital technologies is what you just look out for. It's a special visa that was introduced to allow highly skilled tech entrepreneurs and talent working in the digital tech sector the ability to apply for the right to live and work in the UK for up to 5 years. So it's a 2-stage process. You have to be endorsed with exceptional talent or exceptional promise by Tech Nation first, and that's what I help everyone with. And then once you are endorsed, then you can apply for the stage 2 visa. And how you get endorsed is you have to meet the strict criteria that Tech Nation sets. And then once you meet that criteria, then you can apply for the stage 2 visa application. Now, I don't help with stage 2 because that's an immigration application, and an immigration lawyer can help you with that, or you can do it yourself. I did it myself because the hardest part of this process is the stage 1 endorsement application, because once you've got that, then filling out the stage 2 is quite easy. But if you have lots of immigration type questions, you bring in your family and all sorts of things, that's when you might need to seek the services of an immigration solicitor. It was just me that I had to worry about, so it was quite a straightforward process. While it looks like a job application, the stage 1 endorsement for exceptional talent or promise, it is more than a job application. I'll go through that in a sec. And if you Google hashtag Tech Nation Visa, you'll find more about the Global Talent Visa in digital technologies. The reason why is because Tech Nation is the endorsing body for the Global Talent Visa in digital technologies. There are other endorsing bodies for different sectors. So for example, the Global Talent Visa is the umbrella, and then different endorsing bodies such as Tech Nation or the Arts Council, they endorse people in the art sector. There's also the Science and Engineering, so the Royal Society of Engineering, I think, is another endorsing body. There's also fashion as well. So that's why it can be confusing. So the benefits of the Global Talent Visa is that you have the freedom and flexibility to live and work in the UK for up to 5 years. You can apply for indefinite leave to remain and British citizenship. You can also bring your dependents with you, so children under 18 and your spouse. You can register a UK limited company as well, so you can start your own company, or you can work for a tech company without the need for a company sponsorship. And that's a big one, because a lot of people want to come to the UK to work, but they're limited by obviously the visa issue. And a lot of recruiters say, well, you have to sort out your own visa because the company doesn't supply any sponsorship visas. And there's a whole rigmarole about that. And then if you do get a sponsorship visa, you're stuck to that company. Whereas the Global Talent Visa, it's attached to you, so you can work anywhere you want to. The visa is with you, and if you're not happy in the job, you can go find another job. So, and that's the beauty about this visa. It's also quite cost effective in that, I've been in the UK for 7 years and I had so many different types of visas, and this is one of the cheapest. The application fee itself is cheap. It's £456 for stage 1, and then stage 2 is £152. However, where it gets expensive is the immigration health surcharge, which is like the NHS medical fee that everyone has to pay, and that is in the thousands. So that's the bit that's expensive. But in terms of the application fee, it's quite cost effective. So once you get the visa, obviously those were the other benefits, but the real benefits that I saw, and a lot of my clients have seen after they received the visa, is that, it gives you credibility as someone working in the tech sector. Because if Tech Nation, which is a government organisation that kind of leads the tech sector in the UK, they deem you as an exceptional talent in digital tech or exceptional promise as emerging leader or a leader in tech, that gives you credibility in the tech sector. It also gives you confidence as well, because a government organization has said, yes, you do have exceptional talent in digital tech. So it does boost your confidence. You can also have the confidence to apply for lots of promotions as well. I've had clients that, you know, once they've got the visa, they become credible, they've got their confidence, and they've applied for promotions. I mean, I've had some that have gone and applied for 2 lots of promotions and received it. So, you know, these visas, it was because of them getting this visa. You can also negotiate your salary as well, because when you're kind of asking someone, an employer, to sponsor you, you kind of feel like you're on the back foot a bit. Whereas if you've got your own visa, you can negotiate. You have the freedom to go anywhere, really. So you can negotiate 5,000, 10,000 more. And I've done this with some of my clients as well, like just negotiate and see what they come back with. So that's one thing. I know someone's raised their hand, but I will get to you after the end of the webinar, okay? You also have a lot of opportunities. As I said, you know, this visa sticks with you. So, you know, all of a sudden you're not limited by companies that are only offering sponsorships. You've got your visa, you can work anywhere you want to, so long as it's in the digital tech sector. You're also a role model for people living in your from your own countries as well. I've had a lot of people from, you know, Australia, Vietnam, from China, from Asia, because they see you as, you know, a role model for them, and you can sort of help them, people from your own countries, to apply for this visa, because if you can do it, they can as well. And that's the beauty about being the Tech Nation Visa Ambassador when I was one. And it was accidental because, you know, I did it myself, and I got through it, and now I help others. And it also gives you a bit of security. I've had a lot of my clients who've received the visa, they're like, finally, I can now really look at settling in the UK. I can buy a house if I want to. So it gives them that peace of mind, confidence and security that they actually know where they're going to be in the next sort of 2-3 years. They don't have to rely on anyone else or any job. They know that they're going to be here. So these are the real benefits, I think, and that's why I wanted to share that with you, because, you know, no one ever talks about this, and, you know, they don't really promote that, but this is something that I've experienced and a lot of my clients have experienced as well. Just quickly about the stats, there's unlimited endorsements. When I applied, there were only 200 endorsements per year, but now if you meet the criteria, you can potentially be endorsed. Countries the applicants are from: USA, India, Russia, Pakistan, and Canada. There's a 54% endorsement rate, which isn't great because 1 out of 2 applications are rejected. And my success rate is 80 to 90%. I know it's high because I've been through the process and I've done so many applications for people before, and I know what the assessors are looking for. I also look at appeals. Looking at appeals gives me a lot of insights to what the assessors want. So I've seen a lot of appeals come through, and, you know, we've appealed and we've been successful, but sometimes obviously not everyone gets it. There've been over about 1,700 successful recipients since this visa scheme started, which was in 2014. It's not a lot, only because there was that cap, but hopefully now that there isn't a cap, there'll be a lot more successful recipients from all over the world. It's 90 plus countries that people are coming from, but hopefully there'll be even more. Tech Nation Visa alumni that you can join once you are endorsed, and there's a 75-25 male-female ratio, which isn't great. That's been the same for the last 7 years, and I'm hoping to increase that because I'm a huge advocate for women in tech. So this, in the Tech Nation Visa report, it was only just launched just this year. There was one last year, so there are some stats there from last year. These are this year's stats. So 33% of applicants are from India, 18% from US and Nigeria, 11% Russia, 7%. So these are just the stats of countries are from, but from the last report, I do know that China, America, Canada, they have a high endorsement rate. The lowest endorsement rates that I've seen is Nigeria, India, and Pakistan. They come at about 30% to 40% endorsement rate. So I help a lot of people from those countries get through. Some of the skills here that have been endorsed: biz dev, so that's business skill, that's a high one, but also another high one: product management, software engineering. They're quite high because obviously it's a tech visa. A lot of software engineers apply, but also biz dev, marketing, data scientists, product management. So they're the people that are getting through. But it's not to say that, you know, if you don't fall in that, then you won't get through, but it's just, these are what the stats are saying. So over the years, this has been the application rate, the numbers. So you can see it has increased because obviously more people knew about it. When I applied in 2016, there weren't many of us. I think I was the top 50 that applied and got it. So I'm down over here. But this year, this is September, but now I've seen some October ones. So it's now gone up to 600, I think, in October and it starts in April. So the year starts from April to March every year. So yes, you can see that there's lots of people applying with a 54% success rate. So let's have a look at the process. As I said, there's a two-stage process. So the first stage, there's two steps. There's £456, so you pay at the first step at the Home Office. So that's where you pay and register everything. And then once you pay and register at the Home Office, then you've got 15 working days to upload all your documents on the Tech Nation portal. When I applied, I had to send everything by snail mail. I had like a thick pack and I sent it, and I was just hoping, I did it by registered post, but I was hoping that they would receive it. So gone are those days. Now everything's online. It's so much easier and it's quicker. So you do that on the Tech Nation portal, and then Tech Nation have about 8 weeks to come back to you. Okay, so before COVID, they were taking that about that time, which is a long time to wait. But during COVID, I've seen applications have come back within 3 to 4 weeks. And then obviously some of my clients have gotten them, on the same day or the next day. So that's something that, we just have to watch out for. But it's pretty good decision time now because of COVID, because everyone's at home. They tell you if you're successful or unsuccessful within the 8 weeks. If you are unsuccessful, you have the opportunity to appeal. You've got 28 calendar days in which to appeal, and they've got 28 calendar days in which to respond to your appeal. And again, during COVID, they have been a bit quicker. And during the appeal, what happens is it gets sent to another assessor to look at your application and the feedback and your appeal, and then they give you another decision. If you are unsuccessful again, unfortunately, you can go through the same process, or you've got other visa opportunities to apply for. But if you are successful, if the second assessor says, actually, we don't agree with the first assessor, we agree with what you've said, you are successful, you can go through to stage 2. And that's similar. If you're successful this first time around, you go straight to stage 2. This is the Home Office visa application. It's £150 to £52. It takes 3 to 8 weeks as well. This is when you hand in your passport and everything and do your fingerprint testing and all the rest of it. And this is where you have to pay more fees, biometrics, and that immigration health surcharge fee. This immigration health surcharge fee is $624 per year, and it's per person, I think. So I only had to deal with myself. Again, this is not what I do. This is the second stage, but it's about 624 times how many years you're going to have this visa for. So if it's 5 years, it's 624 times 5. So it's 3,000 to get this visa. But I know it seems a lot, but if you have this visa, you will make it back, definitely, especially if you're going to negotiate your salary and all the rest of it. So you just have to save for it, but think about the benefits. And also it pays for your medical needs in the UK through the NHS as well. So this is eligibility. So because this is a tech visa, you don't actually have to have a tech skill. You can also have a business skill. So these are some of the examples of the technical skills. If yours isn't listed, it's not exhaustive because they understand that obviously the tech sector moves so quickly and new skills and new roles are coming out. So this is just an indication, as they said. Business skills, it's about selling, leading, generating revenue for the company that you work for. So that's what the business skill is about. Now, this is just a recent update in the Tech Nation visa guidelines. So they're saying that technical applicants from non-technical organizations are eligible. Okay, so you've got to have a technical, if you've got a technical background, if you work for a non-technical organization, you are eligible to apply. We'll go through the criteria later, but even if you are eligible, you may not be able to meet the criteria. So I just wanted to, that's just a word of warning before we if you say you're eligible, you will get it. We just have to go one step further about the criteria. If you're non-technical, so if you are a business applicant, but you work for a technical organization, you are eligible. So technical organizations, yes, they want to hear from you. But if you're non-technical, so if you're a business, but you work for a non-technical organization, unfortunately, you're not eligible. Okay, so they really are looking for people who work for technical organizations, essentially. Now, again, these are considered not suitable as well down here. This is one thing that I get asked a lot, and it's the consultancy and outsourcing. So if you work for companies like the Wipros, the Capgeminis, the Cognizant, these types of outsourcing consultancy companies, you really aren't eligible. They had a lot of people apply, but it's not really suited for this visa. And they've got other lists as well. So this is something that they know that if you are one of these, unfortunately, you're not eligible. So don't waste your time in applying. And I get a lot of these questions. So if you are eligible, there are documents that you need to submit, and it does look like a job application, as I said, but it is more than a job application. So 15 documents all in. Remember, that's when I said I had to fill in and, submit a huge pack. So some people have said it's like a PhD of your career. Everyone has to do a CV, everyone has to do a personal statement, and then everyone has to provide 3 letters of recommendations by experts in their field. So that is 5 documents there already. Okay, and these experts, you consider who your experts are, and they have to write letters of recommendation saying, that they are senior in their field and what achievements they've made, and then go on to explain, why they think that you deserve this visa, what achievements have you made in the digital tech sector, and what your future plans are, and that they highly support you. And then you've got to provide 10 extra documents. And those 10 extra documents are the ones that you have to select criteria from and then submit the documents against the criteria that you choose. Okay, and these documents, they have to be 3 pages each. They can't be any more. When I applied, it was 2 pages. So there wasn't even enough room to explain anything. And I think they realized that. So that's why they increased it to 3 pages. So if you think about it, roughly 3 pages for 15 documents, say, that's 45 pages that you have to kind of work on. And yes, it is a big thing. It took me 3 months to work on my documents, but if you work with me, when I go through my packages, it's 2 months worth of work. And, it's a lot of time, but it is worth it when you do get it. Everything has to be right. And this is why when my clients submit, they get a decision within 3 to 27 hours because they've made it so clear that they meet all the criteria, everything's ticked, everything's sorted. It's like handing in a really good assignment and job application, obviously. So, you've got to take care and you've got to be proud of what you submit. So the new definition that has been given is about what is a digital technology sector and what is a product-led digital technology company, because these words are in the guidelines and a lot of people didn't know what that actually meant. So TechNation have actually now defined it to say a product-led digital technology company is defined as a business that provides a proprietary digital technical service product platform hardware as their primary revenue source. This means that they develop products, essentially. Okay, so the company that you work for and have worked for, they build their own products to sell to their customers, either by subscription basis or they sell it to their customers on a one-off. But this is what a product-led digital technology company is. Okay, so just remember they have to build their own products to sell. Okay, and again, it excludes general consultancies, outsourcers, and technology-related consultancy groups focused on product, process, service delivery, or solution systems architecture. So if you can see that they don't want people they don't want applicants from this particular group, then they don't want service-related. Okay, they want you to be working on building products or selling products that you work for companies. Okay, so this is the criteria and the categories. Okay, I talked about exceptional talent and exceptional promise. If you go for exceptional talent, it means that you have about more than 5 years experience, right? So that you can be deemed as a leader in your field. okay? But if you've got less than 5 years experience, go for exceptional promise, because you are a potential leader in your field, in the tech sector. Now, a lot of people have asked me, if I've got more than 5 years experience, but can I go for promise? No. If you've got more than 5 years experience, you have to go for talent. If you've got less than 5 years experience, go for promise. If you're on the cusp, that's the gray area. You have to make that call yourself. And the assessor will have the discretion to deem you as a talent or promise. So you make that call, you convince them that you have a talent or that you are an emerging leader in tech. Okay, but if you are more than 5 years, if it's clear that you're more than 5 years, please go for talent, because I've had so many applicants and clients that say, oh, I just want to go for promise. And the assessor will just assess you under talent if you go for promise. And then it's not going to look well in your application. So there are two types of criteria. There's mandatory, which you have to choose. So there's only one now. Last year there were two, but now there's only one. You have to show that you are a leader or potential leader in your field. And then for the optional criteria, you choose 2 out of 4. So you can choose the innovation criteria. You can choose proof of recognition for work outside of your immediate occupation criteria. You can choose that you've made significant contributions or impact to the field, or you can choose academic contributions. Okay, so it's up to you which one you choose, right? So a lot of people choose innovation and significant contributions. That's what a lot of people choose, but it's not to say like other people choose proof of recognition and significant contributions. It doesn't matter. It depends on your evidence. Now, if you do choose, say, the first 2, innovation and proof of recognition, so that's 3 out of 6 criteria you're choosing. You have to choose leadership, you're choosing innovation and proof of recognition. So then you have to produce 10 documents against those criteria. And to have a balanced application, you submit 3 documents or 3 examples per criteria. So you choose 3 examples of leadership, 3 examples of innovation, 3 examples of proof of recognition. That makes it 9 examples or 9 documents. Then your 10th document is you choose whichever criteria you've already chosen and just put that extra document in either one of these 3, say. Okay, so that means that you have a balanced application. I've seen people put 8 pieces of evidence against leadership and 1 against innovation and 1 against proof of recognition. And that's not good enough. You have to have a balanced application to increase your chances. Because if you completely, yes, you get the leadership criteria because you've put 8 pieces of evidence against it, you're not going to go well in the innovation and proof of recognition. And then overall, they're going to say you're unsuccessful. But that's why you want to hedge your bets and you want to have a balanced application, 3 documents here, 3 here, 3 here, and then the extra 1 somewhere. Because then if they don't accept 1 document against each 1 criteria, then you've got other documents to back it up. Okay, and then overall it's kind of balanced. I just wanted to mention that because a lot of people do ask me, and then I see a lot of applications that have been unsuccessful because their documents are all over the place. So just make sure 3, 3, and 3, and you'll be fine. So let's have a quick look at all the criteria and then decide which one you want to choose. So the leadership criteria is mandatory. You have to choose that one. And what is leadership? You have to show that you've been recognized as a leading or potential talent, if you go for talent or promise, in the digital technology sector. A leader of exceptional talent or promise must show extraordinary ability by sustained or emerging national or international recognition. And you have to demonstrate some kind of level of expertise or emerging expertise, which places you at the forefront of your respective field in the digital tech sector. So if this is just words to you, let's have a look at what actually do they mean by this, okay? You can show leadership in so many different ways. On the left, there are 10 examples, okay, of the different ways you can show leadership. And this is all in the guidelines. You can show you have organizational, product, or thought leadership. You can show that you have marketing or biz dev leadership skills. So, if you've had a hand in revenue, customer growth, or commercial success. If you're working on any open source projects, so if you have a GitHub account, if you've received any industry awards, and they have to be for you, so you have to have won those awards. Company awards, they don't look at, obviously, or they don't look at favorably, but if you are measured against people within the industry, not in your company, but outside of your company, then that shows leadership, right? if you've had any speaking engagements, if you've published in any trade publications or tech magazines, if you command a high salary, so your contract, you can show that. If you've been a panel speaker, a judge, or you've led any large technology-led industry initiatives. And that's why I showed you all the things that I did in the tech sector, because those are the types of things I want to see from you as a leader or potential leader in the digital tech sector. And these are some examples that you can provide: letters of support, news clippings, actual awards, promotional material if you're speaking at events, lines of code, any articles in media and press. And again, as you saw, I showed you all of those things that I was involved in. So these are examples of leadership. And this is where I want to talk a little bit about your personal brand, because a lot of people don't really turn to this and look at this because they're so busy working in their own companies that they don't think about themselves and raising their profile and, you know, self-promoting what they're doing, because no one really feels comfortable doing that. But this process will force you to do that. So personal branding is an intentional effort to create a public perception of you by positioning yourself as a leader or authority in your field. And it's not about bragging. Okay, you've had 5 years experience at least in the tech industry. You know stuff, and you should be sharing that. Okay, and you should position yourself as a leader in your field. Your employers are employing you for that reason, for your skill and expertise, and you should be sharing your thought leadership of what you've seen in the industry, and you should share that and let other people learn from you. You can highlight your strengths and establish your reputation, build trust, and communicate your unique attributes that bring you to your current or desired industry. And that's about personal branding. People buy into you. Think about your role models and people that you look up to. What makes them so unique, and why do you follow them? Because they have something, interesting and lots of insights, and you would offer that to others as well. Even people who are starting out in their career or a few years behind you, you have something to offer them. And thought leadership is really important as well. And that's something that I think you should think about. It's about sharing your insights and ideas and a unique point of view that provokes new ways of thinking, sparking discussions, debates, and inspires action. Lots of thought leaders, yes, you see, the Steve Jobs, and Elon Musk, yes, they are true thought leaders, but, everyday people can also be thought leaders as well. A true thought leader knows a topic inside out, has formed a clear, unique, and defensible point of view about it, and freely shares that perspective. That is you. Okay, if you have been working in the tech sector and you know what works and you know what doesn't work, you are a thought leader. You just need to articulate that to people, because if you don't do it, no one else is going to know about you. Okay. And I love quotes. This is a quote that I think is really important, especially for leaders. If your actions inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. And I think this is something that, think about what you've done and think about who you inspire. You can be a leader. You probably are, but you just haven't turned your mind to it. And this is the process that I go through with all my clients. And it's a really nice thing to do with them, because we go through everything that they've done in the last 5 years and then realize, actually, do quite a bit, and you've done quite a bit. So you should share it. Now, the second optional, now we're going through the optional criteria. So there's 4, and you choose 2 out of the 4. And the first one is about innovation. You can choose this one if you want to. And what this means, it's either if you're going for talent, exceptional talent, you have a proven track record for innovation. But if you're going for promise, you have examples of innovation. Okay, as a founder, senior exec of a product-led digital technology company, or as an employee working on a new field or concept. So, think about the projects that you've worked on, and think about whether, what have you brought to the project that is innovative. Okay, usually it's designs, it's concepts, it's prototypes if you're from technical. But if you are business, it'll be, accounts, stockists, your strategy. It's showing how you brought that product to market as a business, as a person with a business skill. So there's technical and there's a business side of innovation. Tech Nation guidelines have talked about an employment contract, but employment contracts don't really show innovation. So please don't put this under the innovation. You can put it under the leadership if you do have a high salary, but don't put this under innovation. Okay. The second optional criteria, which you can choose, is the proof of recognition criteria. This means that it's kind of volunteer work. It's proof of recognition for work beyond your occupation that contributes to the advancement of the field. So it's volunteer work to organizations that have maybe a social impact, community work, volunteer work, if you've mentored in structured programs. And this is a big thing. A lot of people do mentoring voluntarily, but it's here and there. It's not structured and it's not consistent. What Technation want is consistency. They want you to be someone who's mentoring or being involved in an organization, in a tech community organization for a period of time, not haphazardly. Okay. And then you have to show, one, that it's not part of your day-to-day job, and two, how does it advance the field? You can join some STEM ambassador programs as well in the UK. That's what I did, and I did that regularly. I ran some workshops, and I was very involved with advocating girls in STEM. So that was my thing, and that's what I did for a few years. Again, with the new guidelines, they've said mentoring at universities is not acceptable, mentoring startups is not acceptable, and if you're going for presenting at conferences, it should be more than 100 people, and it's got to be at the main stage. They've been a little bit more strict and clear about what they want under this criteria. And again, 3 examples for each criteria, as I mentioned before. So this third criteria is the significant impact criteria. So you can show that if you can show that you've made significant technical or commercial or entrepreneurial contributions to the field as a founder, senior exec, they've added board member here as well, or employee of a product-led digital technology company. So basically they want you to be working at the time for a product-led digital technology company that builds products or sells their products, okay? And you have made a technical, commercial, entrepreneurial contribution for that. So how do you show impact? Well, this is where I like to use letters of support by people in those companies or partners or customers who've said what impact you've made to them and to the field as an employee or founder or senior exec. And always use metrics and growth, because this is about impact. This is about the results. What did you achieve? What did the project look like before you started, and what did it look like at the end? Because it's about you and your contributions to the field. Okay. And if you're explaining anything, use I instead of we, because I know that, as employees and as working in teams, it's always about we, but this application is about you. I've had assessors come back and say, we don't know what the applicant has done because they've not specified which part is their bit. So that's why we have to, when I work with clients, it's what did you do? I don't really care about what the team did, but let's pull out what you did and what impact did you make. Analytics and revenue, if you don't have impact just yet, talk about potential impact, but they do want to see impact. They want to see scalability. Even winning awards shows impact as well. So if the company won an industry award because of your direct technical contribution, then that's impact, right? And then talk about, impact to the company, customers, partners, or to the industry. So I help a lot of people determine what their impact has been throughout the project. And you need to provide 3 examples of this. Okay, so I hope I haven't lost you. And the fourth one is, you may choose this if you want to. A lot of people don't unless they're from a research background. I chose this one because I was working with a university, but if you don't worry. But if you are, it's academic contributions is about demonstrating exceptional ability or examples in the field by academic contributions through research published or endorsed by an expert. So basically, if you've got any research that you've published in journals, then this is the one that you would go for. But again, you need to provide 3 examples, okay? And you can show letters of support by professors, how you've added value to their research, or what have you done in the academic field. A lot of people, especially master's students and PhD students, they want to show their assignments and their thesis, but unless it's published in a journal, then no, that wouldn't fulfill the criteria, because they want it to be research, published, or endorsed by an expert. Okay. Examples: published journals. If you've won any R&D grants, I mean, I won some as well, so that's why I used it, or innovation vouchers, because that's helping the academic world, because usually it's attached to a university and they want to know, you know, what types of things did you do and how did you help them in their research. And again, letters of support from professors. Again, 3 examples. So finally, these are my top tips. I know it's a lot of information, but just take it one step at a time, because it can be overwhelming. And that's what I help a lot of my clients with. But for me, this is wearing my own hat and also with my coaching hat, is you got to start preparing early. I had so many clients, you know, with visas running out in like a couple of months, and they come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, we have to sort this out before your visa expires. But please look at this early and don't rush it, okay? Because I've seen a lot of people rush it and they don't do so well. So you've got to take your time in doing this and preparing properly. Also consider your future plans in the UK, because a lot of people just say, I'm going to get to the UK and I'll figure it out. But the assessors don't want to see this. They want to see what your 1 to 3 year plan is and what your 3 to 5 year plan is, because they want you to think about it and how would you add value to the tech sector. A great way to do this is just do some research about, you know, what's happening in the UK tech sector, what's growing, what's the trend, who are they looking for, and add that into your personal statement, in the letters of recommendation by your experts, but they have to say what your plans are, and they all have to kind of say the similar things, because obviously it's corroborating your evidence and what you're saying. And also your network is your net worth. This goes for just within your career, just within your daily professional life. Your network is so important to you and extremely important in this process, because you're relying on them to help you write letters. When I work with clients, we get people to help them, probably about 6 to 7 letters all in. So we really have to dig deep and figure out who their network is and the appropriate and relevant ones to help them. And that's why, you know, building your network and having them at your disposal is really important. Also, if you have a good relationship with them, they will come back to you quicker than ones that you don't have a relationship with. So it's really good to, you know, keep building your network as you go along in your career. Don't assume the assessor knows everything, okay? You have to make things very clear, and you have to, if you want to highlight something, highlight it. I've had a lot of clients that just assume assessors know things, but you know, and that's why they're unsuccessful. So when they work with me, I have to make sure it's really clear everywhere in the application. It's not in only one spot, it's in lots of different spots, because someone has to read your application. It's 45 pages. They're not going to read it, you know, as much as they're not going to spend as much time as you have, put it that way. So you have to make things really clear and highlight the important bits. And this is one thing a lot of people make mistakes on, is they just put links in their application. Assessors don't click on links. I would only use links if I've taken a screenshot and I use the link as a source. Okay, if you think it's important, do the screenshot and put the link as a source, but don't just put the link, because the assessor's not going to click on it. You have to screenshot it and then determine the source of it. So if they need to verify, they can click the link, but if you want them to look at it, do the screenshot. Okay, so that's a huge mistake. This is what everyone does. They just put links in, the assessors aren't going to click it. And also, this is about telling a story. You know, someone has to read this. So if you tell a story with each piece of your evidence, then they're going to follow your 45 pages that you've submitted. So it's all about your story, and, you know, make it exciting, make it easy to read. And everyone has a unique story. I've worked with so many clients. Everyone's story is different. And, you know, we want to inspire the assessor. We want the assessor to know, like, and trust you through your 45 pages, 15 documents. So these are my top tips of doing it myself, but also helping so many people get through with their applications. So I have discovery calls every Monday for 15 minutes from 12 to 4. So you can book in. I know I'm fully booked next week, but please be patient and book in as early as possible. And you can book through my website. I've got a free ebook as well that you can sign up and have a look at those. If something is really, really urgent, just email me. Okay, I will answer your emails. So if you can't get a discovery call sooner rather than later, especially if you have an unsuccessful application, email me, because time is of the essence at that point. So these are my different support packages depending on your budget. I've got a membership area, which is a do-it-yourself. I've got strategy sessions if you want some help on how to start and what documents and what experts. I've got a review package if you feel like you don't need all my support, but you just need my review. And my most popular package is my premium coaching package, and that's $5,500. That this is an 80 to 90% success rate because I work with you for 8 weeks. Every week we have a meeting and we work on 2 documents per week. I basically hold your hand throughout the whole process. And this is my most successful and most popular package because it generates the best results. And I also help with appeals. Okay, so this is my membership area. You've got access to it. It's everything in my brain that I've developed especially for you, all the templates for personal statement, for letters, for examples. I've got explainer videos, I've got interviews, I've got some wording examples and how to avoid appeals and tips as well. So you'll see that's the contents, and it's everything that I've done in the last sort of 5 years I've been doing this, and it's really, really helped a lot of people as well. My strategy sessions, as I said, you do get access to my membership area and you get up to 3 hours of my time, and we will go through your whole career. Okay, basically you get advice, mentoring and support. This is, you learn how to start your application and structure your application as well. And this is where we go through what criteria to select, who your experts are going to be, what documents you're going to put against each criteria. And basically you'll have a roadmap, okay, of your application. And then from there, you can do it yourself, or you can upgrade to any of my other packages, which is my review package. You can upgrade to, where I have a chat to you halfway throughout your application, and then I review your full application before you submit, and we have a chat before you submit to discuss and clarify any of my comments. I only provide my comments and feedback. I don't edit in the review stage. Okay, so you have clear feedback and guidance before you submit, because I have seen a lot of unsuccessful applications and I wish I had seen them before they submitted, but I guess it's up to you if you want my support before or after. But then again, this is my most popular package. You get access to my membership area. We do the strategy session. We work on 2 documents per week. I hold your hand throughout the whole process. Weekly calls with action items. I edit and review all 15 documents. You obviously have to provide me with content because your work better than I do, but I ensure that you fulfill the criteria because there's so much, as you can see, to go through, and I have to make sure that you fulfill that and you don't fall out of what they say you can't do. And then a full review before submission. Now, I only accept a limited number each month because I want obviously to spend the right amount of time with each of my clients. I was fully booked in October. I have a few more spaces in November, but because we work for 8 weeks, it takes it up to Christmas and then that's it. So just have a think about that. And I do have installments available to help with the budget as well. So it's a personalized end-to-end service for stage 1. And these are some of my successful recipients in the last year. Yeah, so and these are the ones that actually want to be known. Others are very shy and they say, no, I don't really want my face to be up here, which is absolutely fine. These are the ones I've interviewed as well. So they're on my blog and some of them are on my vlog, and they appear in my inspirational webinar. So you can watch those. And, I feel really proud that I've helped these people and these amazing, they've got exceptional talent and promise in tech, and now they're in London or Manchester, as some of them are. Mostly Manchester and London. And yeah, it's been amazing working with them. As I said, I've got a lot more, but they've decided not to come on, which is fine. So if you want more information, I do have my website. I have weekly, fortnightly newsletters. I'm on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and you'll get all that in my newsletter that I'll send out tomorrow. Okay. And then I'd like to announce my next webinar on the 16th of November. Chinedu is from Nigeria. Chinedu actually applied himself, and unfortunately he was unsuccessful. And he was really upset, and he came to me and we worked with each other for about 8 weeks, and within 3 weeks of submission he received a successful result. So he's actually, I think he's applying for stage 2 right now, but by the 16th of November he should have received his visa, and he has agreed to come on to share his story about how he didn't get it the first time, but then after working with me and, you know, making sure that we fulfilled the criteria, and also looking at the feedback that he got from the first application. And he will share his story. So please do come along for that. I will put it up in my newsletter tomorrow, but I'm so proud of Chinedu. He was, yeah, really amazing. He was working so hard, not only at his job, and he was taking over from his manager, but he also managed to fit this in as well and submit, and he was successful. So he really is a success story, and I'm so proud of him, and he is proud of himself, which he should be, and he should be making his way to London soon. I think maybe after Christmas, I'm not sure. So we will ask him when he comes on the 16th of November. Finally, I hope I haven't overwhelmed you at all. So I'm now going to open the floor for questions. Put it in the chat and Q&A. Please feel free to do that now, because I'm going to answer some of your questions, and I'll just turn off my screen. So I hope you enjoyed the webinar. You're still here, which is good. So yes, Victor, yes, you've got the news update that mentorship evidence is no longer available for universities. So yes, that's great. Thank you for your feedback. Please do let me know if I have answered your question, or, you know, feedback is great, because I'm sitting here talking to you, but I don't have any engagement. So that would be amazing. Yes, please do ask any question. Do they consider program manager roles? In other words, managing technology transformation programs, customer interfacing programs. It depends what programs, because they are very heavy on products. Okay, and digital transformation, they're not too keen on migration projects, I've seen in some of the feedback. But again, it depends on your application and whether or not it's a balanced one. So if you have one example of a massive digital transformation program, it could be okay, but then what else have you got? Each evidence will not be looked at it. Well, they'll look at the evidence, but then they'll also look at your whole application. So if you've got 3 examples of digital transformation projects, I don't think that's going to look good, because it's not balanced. So they want you to be, what projects have you been working on in terms of products? Okay. Program manager, it depends if it has to do with products. Okay. You've been working for banks that build several digital products, which includes USSD banking, mobile and web apps. Can you apply? Banks is an interesting one. I've had a lot of questions about banks. Now, banks are non-technical organizations unless they are a digital bank. So I've worked with clients for the likes of, you know, examples of banks I can't say, but like Monzo or Revolut, or, you know, those types of digital banks, and they are completely new, they're different. But if it's a traditional bank, what is it that is innovative that they're doing that's different to a digital, that's similar to a digital bank? So you just have to be careful about what is your organization. They want it to be a technical organization. So Sadiq, we might need to have a discovery call to discuss exactly what type of organization it is, because your organization is what they want to know. That's why they've given you a definition of what is a product-led digital technology company. Okay. Do engineers have high chances? Yeah, so in the stats, biz dev as under business skill and software engineers, they are about the 18% of successful applicants. So yes, they do have a high chance, but so does everyone else that's listed. They have a higher chance, obviously, because they work on products, hopefully. But yeah, they do have a lot of software engineers who apply, and depending on all your other evidence, they do have a high chance. Yeah, I hope that helps. how do you find out if you really are eligible? That's where you would talk to me about your organizations you've worked for, what evidence you would have, and if you've worked for products. I have a video on my website and on my YouTube channel about whether or not you are eligible. Sometimes applicants are 50-50, like we don't know because they've got a bit of both, you know, so we apply anyway, and the assessor, and we put forward the best application we can, and the assessor has said yes, or the assessor said no. So if it looks like you are eligible, you should apply, because you just don't know. I do have a good feeling about your skills if you give them to me, and then I'll ask you some specific questions. If you fulfill the criteria, then I'll give you a percentage, you know, if you've got 50-50 or if you've got a 70%, or if I say you are a high risk applicant, which means it's unlikely, but you can try your chances. Okay. You've got 14 years in credit risk modeling for banking and digital transformation. Again, this is transformation. So unless it's products, we really need to focus on products. That's what they want. I hope that answers your question. But I do know that these are very specific questions. So I think if you've got, I have to delve in a bit further on your background, where you've worked, what examples and evidence we can use, because it is 15 pieces of evidence we need to show. 10 for the optional and mandatory criteria. And I'm also trying to help you tell a story as well, so that the assessor can look at your application in its entirety and then decide whether or not you fulfill the criteria overall, and each one as well. I'm actually okay for time. I thought I would be longer, but if you've got any more questions, please do say it, because I will hang around until I don't have any more questions. So this time is now yours. If you want to, and please do ask any more questions. Yep, data analytics and risk modeling. Yeah, so your skills is one thing. It's what companies have you worked for, and whether or not you've been building products for that company, or if you've had a hand in the product, either building it or selling it. So Ali, we might need to do a discovery call. Okay. Yeah, you can use different experiences working with different companies. So what I've done with some of my clients is we've gone through their LinkedIn profile and looked at their whole experience. This is why we say it's a PhD of your career. We look at the sort of like the last 5 to 7 years of where you've worked, and we choose projects from those different companies, and whether or not they're innovative enough, whether or not they've provided a lot of impact to the company and to the sector. So the first thing you need to establish is, which companies did you work for that were product led? Okay. And then if you've established those companies, what products were you involved in, and what was your role there, and what was the innovation that you did, and what was your impact? So that's the process that we go through. Yep. So Ali, definitely let's have a chat. So book in a free discovery call. We can talk about that. So your recommendation letters, yeah, so your letters of recommendations, they need to be by 3 different experts. They need to be from 3 different organizations. So you can't have 3 different experts from the same organization. They have to be from 3 different organizations, because they need to tell a story about you and how they knew you. What projects have you worked on with them, so they can talk about your achievements, your leadership skills, your innovation. Okay. And if it's from one company, that's fine, because they can talk about that, because then you'll pick another expert that knows you from another company and what you did there. And then if you want to use a mentor, which I've done, who knows kind of overall about your career for the last 10 years or so, that's why I said your network is really important, or the last 5 years, then your mentor can talk to them about that. I used in my membership area, I've provided my letters as well. I did have to delete certain things because of it's got their personal information, but I used my mentor. I met her actually at a wearable tech conference, and I developed a relationship with her, and she was amazing. Like, she was an expert in the field. She was out there. She was internationally known, and I worked with her, but not really in any sense. I spoke to her and she guided me through a few things. She taught me about who to connect with in the industry. I talked to her about my startup, and she was really good. She was my mentor for a few years, and she was able to write a letter for me about what I had done and what I've achieved within the industry. And she also invited me to be on a panel because she felt that I could add value to the panel and to the wearable tech sector. So, you know, I was quite blown away by the letter that she wrote about me and how she felt that I would add value to the UK tech sector, and how she felt that I would be a leader, that I am a leader in my field. So that was really nice. So, but you also have to establish your expert's credibility as well. So in the first paragraph of their letter, they need to introduce themselves because the assessor needs to know who this person is. You also have to include their LinkedIn profile so the assessor can verify and refer to this LinkedIn profile if they need to. So that's something that I really wanted to share with you. It's all in the guidelines as well about what the expert should say. First of all, they have to be senior. They have to say how they know you. They have to talk about your achievements, your leadership skills, and all the rest of it. But in my membership area, there's the structure of the letter of what you should say. And also it's got examples of mine as well. So that would help you. That's why it's a do-it-yourself membership area. If you feel like you can just take my templates and then do your own application, which is absolutely fine as well. Okay, I wonder if you've got any more questions. I know it is kind of lunchtime and people need to go, but please do. I will be uploading this onto my YouTube channel tomorrow, and I will send you all a newsletter tomorrow as well. And also the link to the next webinar on the 16th with Chinadu. Hang on, I think I might have some more questions. Oh, I didn't scroll down, sorry. Okay. Do they recognize certifications? So I think was it June of this year or even earlier, they no longer accept certifications as evidence. So one of the criteria, which I didn't share because it's no longer a criteria. There used to be there used to be 6 criteria, now there's 5, but the 6th criteria was certifications. So you could put 3 pieces of certifications in your evidence and that would have fulfilled one of the criteria. And that was one of the easier ones that a lot of people chose. But now they've just taken it off. They said, we don't need to look at your certifications. You should already be certified in your field. So they've said, no, we don't accept them. But it's not to say you can't put it in your CV and make sure you put the year of your certification just to make it complete. But in terms of evidence, they don't need to see certifications. Okay, sorry, that would have been an easy criteria to fulfill, and a lot of people chose that one. Mechanical engineer with AI application. You want to build a climate tech company, which is fine. Yeah, so that would be part of your future plans. But what the assessors want to see is what have you done before now. So you need to talk about the products that you've built or worked on. And if you're going for promise, it's an example of innovation. But if you're going for talent, it has to be proven track record of innovation. So there has to be some proven track record of innovation. To me means it's sold onto the market, or it's part of an innovation program that has potentially won any awards or being proven to be innovative. That's what proven track record of innovation is. So it really does depend on what you've done previously. It's fine that you want to do things and that will go towards your future plans. But in terms of the evidence under each criteria, that's where you need to prove that you are innovative or you've provided impact to the field as technical, commercial, entrepreneurial contribution. Okay. Yeah, so we might need to have a chat. So just book in for a free discovery call there. Yes, again, product certifications, it doesn't matter. Just put it in your CV. It wouldn't be used as evidence under any of the criteria. Digital payments, yes, okay. Yeah, again, Joshua, it depends on the bank. If it's a traditional bank, potentially, but if it's moving to, if it's an innovative part of the bank, You might be able to discuss and tell a story about that. And yes, if you've launched and managed lots of products, are they digital tech products? Who are they for? Is it for a product-led digital technology company? So those are the things that we need to fulfill as well, those types of questions. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Joshua, it sounds like you're eligible. So if you want to just have a quick chat in the discovery call, that I can just quickly look at your LinkedIn profile and go through it with you. It looks pretty good. But again, let's think about what types of products and what organization it is, because I don't want you to choose certain examples and it's not relating to the digital tech sector or products. Okay. They do check LinkedIn profiles, so especially in your CV. This is something that I've noticed as well. When my clients work with me, we work on their CV, obviously, and I will edit all their CV. And then once they've edited their CV, then we copy and paste it all onto the LinkedIn profile to make sure there's consistency. Update their photo, update their bio and everything. So it's a whole, I work on everything for them to make sure they're ready to go. So sometimes once my clients have submitted, they say, Michelle, someone's looked at my LinkedIn profile. I don't know who it is. So sometimes the assessors do look at your LinkedIn profile. So that's why we make sure it's done and ready and consistent with the CV and everything's good to go. So yeah, I do an overhaul of your whole career, CV, everything. And it looks really good at the end. So hopefully if I do work with you, I can help you with that as well. Great. So yeah, let's any more questions? Joshua, I can't click on that link just yet. I'll do it after, but if you want to book in, let's have a chat. Okay, so let's have a look. I've got some other questions in the chat, so I'm just going to have a quick look. Ali, thanks. Booking the discovery call. Okay, yeah, so being part of an accelerator, yes, it depends actually. There are different ways you can use your accelerator participation. So if it's a really good accelerator and it has a lot of credibility behind it, then it is an achievement to get into that accelerator. But then what else about it? Did you engage a lot with the other participants? Did you what was the result of being in that accelerator? Did you receive investment? Did you collaborate with any high profile investors or anyone that, you know, there needs to be a story around it. There's one thing getting into an accelerator program, but then what else? Like tell me more about that. You can fast track your application if you have been or will be accepted into an accelerator program. But there's a list of accelerator programs in the guidelines. So have a look at that list. There's quite a bit, and that will fast track your application, but it won't guarantee you to have a successful result. But yeah, if you're just saying you were part of an accelerator program, we do need to sort of, what's the story behind being part of it? I've had a lot of graduates under the Exceptional Promise route talk about their role in that accelerator program. What did they do in it? And that was only one piece of their evidence. And then we sort of tied in other pieces of evidence as well with that. Okay. Yeah, the applications procedure is very tedious. I love it though. It's what yeah, I as a solicitor in my previous life, that is what draws me to this. Is I'm extremely organized and everything has a checklist for me, and that's my background, unfortunately, but I love it. I know it is tedious. You want to give it a shot? Yes, definitely. I think don't be put off by it, because yes, it is tedious and it can seem like a lot of work, but as a lot of my clients said, if it's worth it, and it was worth it for me, if it's worth it for you, and what do you want to gain from it? The reward is so great. You know, you will make everything back because you have so many opportunities open to you in the UK. We don't know what that is yet because, you know, you haven't got it, But trust me, when I received this, I had so much freedom and flexibility. I was running my startup, but I needed a break from my startup, as most people do. So I took on a 3-month stint running an accelerator. And then I decided I wanted to work for a university covering a maternity leave for 9 months. So I did that. And then I went back to my startup. So it just opened up so many doors, and I met so many people, and I was able to use other skills as well. And obviously get paid what I was worth, and negotiated. So it was really nice to have that, especially, you know, being an immigrant and you're so restricted for so long. I was already in the UK, and I had so many restrictions. I was on an entrepreneur's visa, and I was only allowed to work on my startup, but I needed a break, and this global talent visa allowed me to have that and to explore so many more things that wasn't available to me. So yeah, it can be tedious, but it depends. If this is what you really want, you will do it. And a lot of my clients have gone through that process. And yes, they say the same thing. It's hard. And I've been through it. It's so hard. I didn't sleep for 3 months while I was doing my application, because I was doing it myself. But looking back, and this is why I help people, because I've been through it, I know what it's like. And you just need someone to support you throughout that journey. And once you get it, it is worth it. That's all I can say. Sadiq, yes, book in for the free discovery call. And Joshua, you too. Great. I know some people have dropped off, and I hope that's because they've got everything they need, or they have to go back to work and things. And those who are staying back, if you've got any other questions, please do ask. I've been in this for a number of years, and you know, every day I love my job even more because I meet people like you, and my passion and my goal is to increase the diversity that's needed in the UK, because I have worked in the UK tech sector. There's not a lot of diversity in the UK tech sector, building diverse products and just teaching them different cultures. And this is something that I was really surprised with, because, you know, because we're from different countries, we add so much value, but in a different way. And I don't think they realize that until they meet people like us who have different opinions, different viewpoints, because we've grown up in a different world than them. And if you're building products, you do need to take different perspectives into consideration. So I do wish you all the best, and I am here to help. And I completely understand where you are, because I've been through it myself, and this is why I do what I do. So please do contact me. My email is, I will put it on the chat, so you can, you know, please ask any further questions, book in a free discovery call, or have a chat. And please do email me. Otherwise, I'm going to finish off now, if that's okay. And hopefully I will see you again soon, either in the next couple of weeks when you book in. And I hope I see some successful recipients, and you email me to tell me that you have been successful. So thank you so much for your time, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Thank you, everyone. Bye.